Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Bright Ebochuo. President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Berlin, Germany to attend the G20 Compact with African Conference holding November 20, 2023. The president took off from the presidential wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, at about 6:15 p.m. Nigerian time on Saturday. During the conference, to be hosted by German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, President Tinubu will join other heads of state and government of CWA member countries, bilateral partners, as well as heads of international organizations to deliberate on the immediate enhancements of economic and business cooperation with a view to outlining concrete measures to boost investments in critical areas such as energy, trade, infrastructure, and new technologies, among others. The G20 CWA conference will take place alongside the 4th G20 Investment Summit, co-hosted by the German government and German Business Association, in view of President Bola Tinubu's globally recognized drive for foreign direct investment in Nigeria. The president will sustain the momentum and advance the mission further as he leads Nigeria's delegation to participate in the investment summit.
Nigeria has been respected in the Committee of Nations, and that is why the invitation, and it will be very, very good for the country. I believe President will discuss with so many presidents there. They will discuss the economic situation and how to invest in Nigeria, and also discuss the security challenges around the world, and opt for more diplomacy instead of confrontation in the world.
President Tinubu is expected to return to the country following the conclusion of the conference. The federal government wants to project managers to work with its renewed hope agenda to curb quackery and corrupt practices associated with project management. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, at a program to mark this year's Project Management Week in Abuja, said it will go a long way in achieving results and saving lives. Tokpe Alabi reports.
Effective project management requires well-executed strategies for successful implementation that will improve citizens' quality of life. Aware of the strategic position project managers occupy, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, represented by the Director of Administration, Anthony Obioha, noted their critical role in helping the government to achieve its renewed hope agenda and urged them to ensure that excellent services are provided in all sectors of the economy.
All the MDAs, private sector and the citizens alike to always engage the services of the statutory bodies, as a war against substandard products is a war we all must win.
President of the Institute, Dr. Jamilu Isa Yankwanshi, speaks on his vision and a new direction of the Institute.
So we look for Nigerians who have existing qualifications, and we now train them and ensure they have the generic concept that they can apply.
Highlights of the program was an induction of 5 new fellows and 15 new members equipped with necessary skills and knowledge to deliver on its regulatory mandate.
I was so much enriched by the training that I went through, which will be a kind of my Quran or Bible.
Actually, this training I have acquired will help me a lot for executing my day-to-day activities, which is managing the project on site.
The CIPMN Establishment Act, which empowers the Institute to regulate its activities, was passed into law in 2017. In Abuja, Tokpe Alabi, NTA News.
The federal government wants project managers to work with its renewed hope agenda to curb quackery and corrupt practices associated with project management. Secretary to the Government. The President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, is calling for a collaboration between federal government appointees of Akwa Ibom state origin and the state government for the peace and development of the state. This was at a Thanksgiving Mass organized by the Minister of State, Petroleum Resources, Gas, Ekperikpe Ekpo, held in Abak local government area, Akwa Ibom State. Kelvin Samuel reports.
Organized by the Minister of State, Petroleum Resources, Gas, Ebochuo, this Thanksgiving Mass with notable personalities is to thank God for the Supreme Court victory of the President and for his appointment as a Minister of the Federal Republic.
Let me thank God for the life of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who believes so much in Akwa Ibom State that he went out of his way to campaign to ensure that an Akwa Ibom child, for the first time in history, becomes the #3 citizen of Nigeria.
It is only in Akwa Ibom that you can find the APC, the PDP sit together, dine together, and we thank God that God has also given us someone at that level who will always work for the best interest of the nation, but will also remember Akwa Ibom, because charity must begin at home.
For Ebochuo, it is his first visit to the state since he assumed office as a minister, while encouraging the people to be patient with the president in his plans in the oil and gas sector meant for the good of all Nigerians.
With the determination that Mr. President has shown in this sector, I believe things will turn around for better.
The wife of the Senate President and the wife of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which I know they are so passionate about women. There is a renewed hope for every woman.
The Thanksgiving Mass featured prayers for the state and the nation at large. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
Nigerian Navy ship NNS Sorrow has recovered arms and ammunition from suspected sea robbers and arrested 3 suspects in the creeks of Bayelsa State. Commander NNS Sorrow, Commodore Abdul Hakim Olushina Ojebode, while giving a rundown of weapons recovered from the suspect, reiterated the Nigerian Navy's commitment to enhancing security in the maritime domain. Ebinimi Zitimiola reports.
With the strategic directive of the Chief of the Naval Staff and the operational mandates, the Nigerian Navy ship NNS Sorrow has continued to make progress in keeping the territorial waters safe. The recent is the mop-up of arms and ammunition in the creeks of Bayelsa State.
1 general-purpose machine gun with 100 empty links, 2 AK-47 assault rifles, 1 locally made gun, and 2 Tavor rifle magazines, as well as 2 AK-47 assault rifle magazines were recovered. Also recovered were 11 rounds of 7.62 NATO ammunition, 2 cartridges for pump-action gun, and 2 7.62 special ammunition. 1 high-speed boat, different models of handheld radios, mobile telephone handsets, as well as assorted camouflage uniforms.
Commander NNS Sorrow appealed for continuous support from members of the public on credible information to protect lives and national assets. Ebinimi Zitimio, NTA News.
Let's now go to our Lagos Network Center, where Adiola in Lagos has more on naval activities. Adiola.
Thank you, Bright. In continuation of its mandate of keeping the nation's maritime domain safe for legitimate ventures, the Nigerian Navy has flagged off exercise expression, hoping to get rid of illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing within Nigerian waters. Michael Olaleye reports that the Western Naval Command says the operation is part of a sustained effort towards protecting the potential in the blue economy.
Although the dark cloud that once eclipsed the Gulf of Guinea in terms of sea robbery and piracy has surrendered to bigger force, but illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing is still a challenge. The European Union say about $1.6 billion is lost to the act annually, aside undermining preservation of marine resources. The Western Naval Command has taken up the task to end the ugly trend, and has dedicated its fourth sea exercise of the year to fishing as perpetrators.
When you go out at sea, you see fishing vessels, they are fishing normally, you interrogate them, they sound normal. But with the cooperation with the fisheries department, and they will let us know what really to look out for so that we can find those errant people. You know, we're in the blue economy era, so we need to sharpen our skills towards contributing to the economic security of the nation.
Beyond this exercise, at the expression, we enable the Navy to test the operational state of its machinery while enhancing proficiency of officers.
Other exercises like the communications exercise and seamanship evolutions are also a part of this outing.
The flag officer commanding Naval Doctrine Command was on board NNS Kada to assess combat readiness.
We conduct both maritime security operations and also acts of warfighting. So in the gunnery exercises, we want to check how the ships are carrying out the exercise.
While the Navy reiterated its commitment to perfecting its skills in policing the Nigerian waters, it equally called for reciprocity from the public in the area of giving credible information that will assist in getting rid of criminalities. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
When Christians learn to persevere and keep hope alive amidst daunting economic challenges, this will help propel them to serve as catalysts of positive change in the world. This was the core message at the 35th General Assembly Convention of the founder of Hope International in Lagos. Nenrot Nina Musa reports.
Of these members of the Fountain of Hope Society, drawn from various parts of the country, is born out of the need to advance philanthropy and evangelism in the Christendom. The International Annual General Conference also provides a platform to remind members to promote the vision and mission of the society, while encouraging them to be more loving and tolerant of one another.
Hope is wanting something so much that despite all evidence to the contrary, you keep believing God for it.
Special guest of honor, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was represented by the Secretary to the State Government.
We as Christians must be the catalyst of change. We must look at what God says about us. God says we are the head and not the tail. He says we'll be above and never beneath poverty level. So we must take all these and run and work with them.
The leadership of the Fountain of Hope Society are optimistic that the conference will help address salient issues and provide solutions to socio-economic challenges in the society.
By the time we were able to embrace God, we were able to have fear of God in us, for sure, Nigeria will be turning around for better.
Leadership, training, retraining and empowerment. We will continue to ensure that we train more leaders in the basic principle tenets of Fountain of Hope International.
The Fountain of Hope Society is a Christian-based association with focus on philanthropy and evangelism in more than 141 chapters in the Anglican, Methodist, and United African churches nationwide and internationally. In Lagos, Nina Musa, NTA News.
And those other reports from Lagos nationwide will continue with Kemi in Ibadan after this break. To stay.
Good to know you're still there. News just reaching us says Court of Appeal sacks Caleb Mutfwang as Plateau State Governor, declares Netawe Goshi of APC as winners. Details of that will be brought to you in our subsequent bulletin. Let's now go to Ibadan, where Kemi Oshin is standing by. Hello, Kemi.
Hello, Bright, and a warm welcome to Ibadan. Adherence to ethical standards and practice has been identified as key to achieving engineering solutions for technological advancement. This was the focus as technologies in engineering met in Ibadan to promote strategies that will impact safety and development of the society. Grace Ayoneke has the report.
Cutting across various sectors of human endeavors, the role of technology cannot be overemphasized. To make human lives better, quality assurance in service delivery is important. The theme, sustenance of technological code of ethics and engineering standards, a key for national development, afforded the professionals a platform to exchange ideas and recommend strategies to tackle headlong challenges of poor service delivery and management bedeviling technology industry of Nigeria.
For Nigeria to move forward, we have advocated skills should be introduced at primary school level in the Catch Them Young agenda of the profession.
We are calling all individuals, government officials to come and join hands with the technologists to revive the economy of our country.
A single mistake in engineering will cause a colossal loss. So as engineers, we need to be more disciplined in whatever we do and not to ever cut corners.
Highlights of the conference was the unveiling of locally produced food processing machines in Ibadan. Grace Anyoleke, NTA News.
Teachers in federal and state colleges across southwest Nigeria converged on Oyo Town to fashion strategies and methodologies for early grade curriculum. Correspondent Adebola Agbaje reports that the workshop is at the instance of the National Commission for Colleges of Education.
In their efforts to reduce the level of poor performance of students both at the primary, secondary and tertiary level and make sure that reading and understanding are made easy for students, National Commission for Colleges of Education brings together teachers educators in federal and state colleges of education to educate them on the strategies and effective methodologies for implementation of the new early grade curriculum.
Situation where a child will be trained to tell story. The teacher will write down the story. The teacher will read for the child. Teacher and child will read together. It's just to train the basis of reading, just to show that reading is not an abstract, but a talk written down.
So all the student teachers in NCE 2 in primary education, they have to undergo this course.
Participants said the workshop is a plus to the teaching and learning process.
We give more approaches that will be relevant to the needs of our students.
I've enjoyed the part of the Nigerian languages that was included in it.
The workshop is intended to initiate the process of early grade reading action planning at the country level, as well as establish mechanism and accountability among government, civil society and stakeholders. From Oyo, Adebola Agbaje, NTA News.
That's all from Ibadan. It's back to Bright in Abuja for continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you, Kemi. Despite the security challenges faced by Borno State, its renowned fidelity to education was enveloped in a frenzy of academic recollections as Vice President Kashim Shettima shared memories on the significance of education and service to humanity. This was at the combined convocation ceremony of the University of Maiduguri as he inspired graduates with lessons learned from the school, attributing his current position to the values instilled in him during his formative years as a student. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
It was another moment of celebration as 33,429 graduates across postgraduate and undergraduate studies made up the 24th combined convocation ceremony of the 48-year-old Center of Excellence, the University of Maiduguri. 147 among the undergraduate students got first-class degrees from the regular and affiliated colleges of the institution.
Engaging in cutting-edge research and application of the requisite expertise, Nigerian universities can empower their students with the necessary skills and competencies that will make them a positive force for societal growth and development. By the same token, Nigerian researchers can deploy their considerable technical know-how and creative abilities to provide innovative solutions to everyday challenges that stand as impediments to what should otherwise be productive efforts of citizens, especially those at the grassroots.
At the event, the university made the appointment of 3 Professor Emeritus and conferment of 4 honorary doctorate degrees, including Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima, Sheikh of Borno Dr. Abubakar Ibn Garbai El Kanemi, the second registrar of the institution Dr. Ahiru Bobo, and the chairman Bua Group Abdul Samad Rabiu. The university appreciated the support from governments at all levels, individuals and private sectors towards the pursuit of its academic mandate.
In the new atmosphere of peace, the university will continue to provide learning opportunities for the youth of the nation.
Earlier, the Vice President had inaugurated the Abdul Samad Rabiu International Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development, a multi-billion naira edifice donated to the university. The center is expected to foster a thriving innovation and entrepreneurial ecosystem that encourages creativity, collaboration and experiment. From Maiduguri, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
On behalf of the people and government of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu celebrates former President Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan on his 66th birthday for his unique demonstration of statesmanship and for his distinguishing achievement as a leader who gave Nigeria and Africa pride of place in democratic law by changing the status quo of holding on to power by all means. In a statement, the president believes the former president possesses a distinguished profile on leadership, rising up the ladder as deputy governor, vice president, and now championing the cause of peace in Africa by bringing together and counseling leaders on harmonious coexistence for the benefit of the people they serve. As the former president clocks 66, President Tinubu affirms that his wisdom and patriotism will continue to set an example for leaders aspiring to make a difference in Nigeria and beyond. The president prays that God Almighty will continually sustain the former president and his wife, Patience, in good health and strength. A climate impact policy and action document that will measure extent and dimension of extreme weather events aimed at also creating awareness at federal, state, and local levels has been launched in Abuja by the Minister of State for Environment, Isaac Salako, and some members of the Nigerian Governors Forum. Charles Alpha reports.
The document, Climate Impacts, Policies and Actions at the subnational levels in Nigeria, was put together by the Society for Planet and Prosperity and launched by the Ministry of Environment in collaboration with the Nigerian Governors Forum. 4 states to appraise themselves in comparison with what others are doing to address climate impacts.
The result shows that states need to up their action for good performance on these goals. Subnational governments need to factor the SDGs into their state development plan.
We also use this opportunity of this forum to invite the attention of the governors through the Nigerian Governors Forum of the opportunities to finance green projects by approaching the capital markets.
It's not just formulating the policies in Abuja, but at these things you can cascade them down to the local government. So it's a very important exercise.
The report shows that 8 states have climate policy, 7 have climate change action plan, while 12 have captured climate change in their budgets.
These findings will help the government really focus the financing.
The document is hoped will show subnational levels ways to generate income for climate change, mitigation, adaptation, and investments. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Felicia is standing by in Jos for more stories from that end. Hello, Felicia.
Welcome to Jos. The Nigeria Institute of Science Laboratory Technology says it is an aberration for any institution to hire or recruit non-professionals to either lecture or man science laboratory. Director General of the Institute, Yemi Gbadegeshin, stated this in Jos at the 8th induction of Science Laboratory Technology students of the University of Jos. Ijoma Ozemena has details.
Of the professional duties Science Laboratory Technology is a 5-year structured program that provides students with a broad-based theoretical, technology and practical knowledge to coordinate science-based experiments and research in laboratories. These professional technologies are now equipped with the capacity to design, develop, produce, test and maintain devices and products that are beneficial to human race.
I intend to go into research, further my study.
Director General, Nigerian Institute of Science Laboratory Technology, Ibadan, Yemi Badeson, urges the professional technologists to actively affirm to the ethics of the profession and project its image.
Please remember that as professional members of the institute, you should align your skills, technical competencies and trainings in dealing with laboratory services.
Vice Chancellor of the University of Jos represented encourages participants to be diligent in their practice, noting that any mistake advanced by them is injurious to one's life.
Encourage you to keep up the good name of this university, because whatever you do there is an assessment of the training you have received from us here.
Overall best graduating students, second and third graduating students were honored. In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
Still on education, a 27-man local organizing committee for the 27th edition of the National Universities Games Association has been inaugurated with a charge to ensure the success of the event. Belkisu Nuhu reports that the Vice Chancellor of the University of Jos, Professor Ishaya Tanku, gave the charge while inaugurating the committee.
These are the committee members saddled with the responsibility of hosting the 2024 Nigeria University Games. Vice Chancellor, University of Jos, Professor Ishaya Tanku, who doubles as the chairman of the committee, says this is a call to service and assures that the institution will do everything within its means to make it a memorable one, being the first to be hosted in the university.
The university has decided to call you all to bring into bear all your experiences, your sacrifices towards ensuring that we organize a befitting program for the University of Jos.
On behalf of the committee, the first alternative chairman assures of members' readiness to make the event a success.
We are here so that you can tap our brains so that this project will be a successful project. And that statement, we are taking it very seriously.
Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development represented assures of the ministry's readiness to partner with the university in developing skills of youth in the state, especially through sport. Goodwill messages from various stakeholders harped on the need for all to collaborate and ensure the competition becomes successful. This is the first time University of Jos will be hosting NUGA since inception. In Jos, Bilkisu Nuhu, NTA News.
Those are the stories from here. Bright is back to you in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Alicia. And now to climate matters. Nigeria, like many nations, is grappling with challenges associated with climate change. However, the government and organizations are not just folding their arms. A World Bank-assisted project has initiated a tree planting program in Kogi State as part of efforts to mitigate climate-related problems. Jonathan Omajali has more.
Challenges associated with climate change and global warming are too numerous to mention. Changes in weather pattern, unpredictable rainfall and flooding are just few out of a long list. More than any other time, trees have become extremely useful in saving our world from destruction, as they absorb the dangerous gases that we emit and in return give us oxygen which prevents soil erosion, reduce flooding, and shield us from ultraviolet rays that cause cancer.
Are we okay with the erosion that is swallowing our homes, our farmlands, and everywhere? Are we fine losing our biodiversity? Definitely no.
It is against this background that the Agro-Climate Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscape Project, ACRESAL, has embarked on aggressive tree planting in the Tree Senatorial District of Kogi State. The project coordinator, Kogi State Akresal, Ladi Ahmed Jatu, led other stakeholders to St. Barnabas College, Kaba, for the flag-off of the program in Kogi West.
A round of applause for her. By spearheading this tree planting exercise, we are taking a proactive step towards securing a healthier, more resilient, and environmentally conscious Kogi State.
There will be large-scale tree planting program. That is afforestation.
The joint effort between Akrase Project and the World Bank in Kogi State is expected to leave a lasting legacy for the prosperity of the state. In Kaba, Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
Internally displaced children have been given the opportunity to take action against climate change with the launch of Project 1 Million Children, Books and Trees in Abuja. Ruth Agwele reports that it is an initiative by the National Commissions for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons to change the narrative by promoting foundational literacy in learning and climate action. I apologize for that mix-up in that report. The attention of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, has been drawn to a circulating bogus child support scheme titled Federal Government's 50,000 Child Support Fund. For all Nigerian parents is ongoing. A statement by the Special Advisor to the Minister of Media and Publicity, Rashid Olarewaju Zubairu, says the scheme accompanied with the link are fake as they did not emanate from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, noting that all social intervention schemes of the ministry are well documented and properly brought to the notice of Nigerians through proper channels. More than 4,000 inmates serving jail terms for fines and compensation not exceeding 1 million naira can now breathe the air of freedom. This follows payment of their fines by philanthropic individuals, groups and corporate bodies as part of their corporate social responsibility. Victor Azu reports.
Clad in their jail uniforms, yet engaging in friendly banters, these ones are part of the 4,068 inmates across the country set to resume their normal lives after some individuals, groups and corporate bodies raised 585 million naira to pay off their fines and compensations. More importantly, they have been equipped with skills to keep them going and out of trouble.
It's not something we were expecting, and then it came to us unexpected. So we're very happy and we thank the government for this very, very wonderful opportunity. And we are praying and wishing that we never go back to our wrong ways again.
I'm a web designer myself, so I also came in and learned artwork for designs and also how to also think about my people, about agriculture. So I have plans when I go out.
As these inmates begin their reintegration into society, the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunjiojo, wants Nigerians to be more accommodating of ex-offenders and less judgmental.
I implore you all to be good ambassadors of the NCOS by not returning back to the way of crime, but rather lead productive lives as responsible and law-abiding citizens.
I also use this opportunity to call on the larger community to receive these returning citizens with open arms. They should refrain from stigmatizing against them, as it can drive them back to offending the law, which will further endanger the society.
Prior to this exercise, available records show that Nigerian custodial centers were overcrowded by more than 30,000 inmates, a major cause of recent jail attacks. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
It's time for us to take our second break. Nationwide continues. Please stay. Welcome back. More than 4,000 inmates serving jail terms for fines and compensation not exceeding 1 million naira canal. 7 years after his escape from prison custody following his conviction for drug dealing, a notorious major distributor of illicit substances within the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Ibrahim Momo, popularly known as Ibrahim Bendel, has been arrested by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, during a raid of his hideout at Filin Dabo, Dede area of the FCT. The drug lord was arrested with 56.9 kilograms of cannabis sativa and 42.7 grams of diazepam. In another raid in the same area of the FCT, a suspect, one Yusuf Ibrahim, 27, was arrested with 75.3 kilograms of cannabis. Meanwhile, various NDLEA operations across the country led to the arrest of various suspects dealing in illicit substances, including a massive operation covering more than 21 hectares of farmland, which led to the destruction of 52,500 kilograms of cannabis sativa at Ifon in Ekiti State. The same substance, weighing a total of 4.38 tons stored in different huts on the farm, were also burnt. While commending the officers and men of the FCT, Ekiti, Ondo, Sokoto, Lagos, Edo, Benue, Ogun, and Imo Command for the arrest and seizures of the past week, Chairman Chief Executive Officer of NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, urged them and their compatriots across all formations of the agency to intensify the offensive against drug cartels as the Utah season approaches, while maintaining a balance with their drug demand reduction efforts. The air component of the Nigerian Air Force under Operation Well Punch has sustained airstrikes against terrorists operating in the northwest and north-central region of the country, leading to the decimation of several terrorist elements. At Soni Doka in Gabi local government area of Kaduna State, NAF spokesperson Air Commodore Edward Gabwet says the strikes followed credible intelligence confirming the presence of terrorist kingpin Buhari and his foot soldiers at Soni Doka. Another strike targeting hideout of Nasiru, brother of Buhari, was also successful. Buhari and his brother Nasiru, together with their foot soldiers, have been blamed for several attacks and abductions along the Abuja-Kaduna Highway, Kaduna-Birni-Gwari Road, and as well as in several communities in Niger States and Kaduna States. The Nigerian Army is further developing skills of West African military officers in the use of non-kinetic approach to counter violent extremism in the region. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa was at one of the strategic engagements organized by the Martin Luther Agwai International Leadership and Peacekeeping Center, and now reports.
Violent extremism is a global security challenge that has truncated socioeconomic activities and hampered development in parts of Africa for decades. This program, organized by the Martin Luther Agwai International Leadership and Peacekeeping Center, with support from UNDP and Japan, is aimed at strengthening the capacity of military officers from African countries on improved diverse combat skills.
This training provides numerous benefits, including increased awareness, community resilience, cooperation, effective intervention strategies, enhanced security measures, and support for post-conflict rehabilitation.
Now, the paradigm shift proposed by stakeholders is the application of non-kinetic approach in dealing with emerging security threats on the continent.
Building the capacity of relevant partners to effectively counter violent extremism will improve socio-economic well-being of the respective population, sustain global and national peace and development, enhance the professionalism of the beneficiary, and significantly boost citizen government trust and confidence.
So Japan pledged to contribute to realization of sustainable peace and stability and strengthening human resource development in Africa.
The strategy is driven by development that involves the establishment of alternative dispute resolution mechanism, access to justice, and good governance. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The federal government is planning on employing coastal guards to further complement efforts of the Marine Police and Navy guarding the waterways. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Ebochuo Oyetola, stated this when he visited his country home in Aragbiji, Borikpe local government area of Osun State. Femi Afari-Ogun reports.
Of Marine and Blue Economy, Ebochuo Oyetola, who addressed people at the event in Aragbiji in Osun State, reaffirmed federal government's commitment at creating more jobs for youth. To achieve this goal, he explained, his ministry is working assiduously and paying adequate attention to safety on waterways.
Already looking at the possibility of establishing what we call coast guard. If we want to ensure coastal tourism, we will provide adequate security.
The minister described the recent conversion of a SDG vocational center at Aragbiji to a football training camp for Osun United by the state government as worrisome.
You must use these facilities for the purpose for which they are made. They are not meant for football camping. They are meant for the acquisition of knowledge, skill for youth. It's very painful.
People at the event commended the effort of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at stabilizing the economy. From Aragbiji in Osun State, Femi Afari-Ogun, NTA News.
Clerics and community leaders from the southeast region of Nigeria have called for collective effort towards tackling lingering issues of insecurity in the area. This was at the recently concluded Peace Summit in Abuja at the instance of the Worldwide Igbo Clerics Association. Kenne Ndulwe reports.
Reported cases of insecurity in the southeast region of Nigeria have continued to pose challenges to businesses and residents of the area. A source of worry to stakeholders from the region. Igbo clerics from various church denominations are taking it upon themselves to find solutions to the problem and are engaging community leaders on the issue. Apparently, government alone cannot tackle the problem, and these leaders are tasking themselves to assist the authorities in providing solutions.
Governors, Ohanes and Igbo, our community leaders, to come together and fish out these people.
We have been discussing this issue, how to tackle it, and we are doing it.
The clergies are also taking a spiritual angle to the problem and are seeking divine intervention.
Or in their meetings, whatever they have agreed to do, they should shift it to us to take it to God for divine intervention. Where God leads, other things we follow.
So in Wicca, we want to bring the Igbos together to God in prayer, and then to also have a forum to talk to our politicians, to do what is good and what is right.
These leaders believe development cannot be achieved if there is no peace, and they are offering prayers for calm to return to the southeast and Nigeria as a whole. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
Nigeria is blessed with natural resources to be tapped for the socio-economic development, and more importantly, the country is fertile. The country is a fertile ground for those in the diaspora to invest. This was the thrust of the 6th Nigerian Diaspora Investment Summit, which opened in Abuja. Deborah Bala Gbogbo reports.
Is described as a step in making investment and growth a reality. Chairman NIDCOM, Abike Dabiri Arewa, says the summit is not just keen on attracting foreign direct investment, but also ensures that the capacities of local businesses, most especially those that participate in the summit, are significantly enhanced.
There will be challenges, but we have to overcome those challenges. I know that it's not a bed of roses. I know that the complaints that we get in NIDCOM, but we try to work at them, we try to resolve them. But the most important thing is that we have to build this country together.
Government and line partners in their separate submissions believe that unveiling the vast array of opportunities coupled with a banquet of incentives for investors through the summit cannot be overemphasized.
So as part of the initiative, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria will facilitate the construction of affordable housing units in major cities that meet the specification of Nigerians in diaspora.
The very critical, important component in this effort will be what we'll be able to bring in from Nigerians in the diaspora.
The opening ceremony featured the launch of the Diaspora Housing Mortgage Scheme and tour of the exhibition booths.
The Minister of Sports Development.
We apologize for that mix-up there in the report. The need to raise a generation of spiritually minded and law-abiding youth is the focus of a 3-day program tagged Live in Koza, Port Harcourt. Osinachi Samuel was at the grand finale of the program organized by the Commonwealth of Zion Assembly and now brings us details.
Live in Koza, Port Harcourt is a 3-day program created to raise a generation of spiritually minded and excellence-conscious youth who will drive leadership at all levels through God's word. Some members share their experience and gains from the program.
Personally, my faith has moved to another level. Like even hearing words which it seemed like, okay, it's in the Bible, and we should have known. But hearing them come in a new light has positioned me. And now I'm ready for 2024.
And we have already made a covenant with God that will stay true to his word. And I'm blessed. My family is blessed. My career is blessed. The city of Port Harcourt is blessed. Nigeria is blessed.
It was a homecoming for the General Overseer, Commonwealth of Zion Assembly, Koza, Reverend Biodu Fatoyibo and his family, who used the occasion to stress the need for youths to rise up to the responsibility of driving the vision of generational change as future leaders.
The devil knows that the youth in Port Harcourt, they have substance on their inside. No thief attacks a house without substance. And I pray and I believe strongly that this meeting has changed people, has imparted people, charted their destiny, the course of their destiny, and they will never remain the same in the name of Jesus. I believe in Port Harcourt youth, I believe in Port Harcourt Christians, I believe in people here in Port Harcourt, and I believe strongly that God has deposited resources here because he has seen ahead what he wants to do.
Reverend Fatoyibo was earlier in Government House on a felicitation visit to Governor Siminalayi Fubara. In Port Harcourt, Osinachi Samuel, NTA News.
That's a wrap on Nationwide. Thanks for watching. I am Bright Ebochuo.